Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SAT Math Question of the Day. We haven't met for a while, but we're back. Okay, here's our question of the day. It's from the educator side of the SAT. Warning, it could be on a blue book test. A laundry service is buying detergent and fabric softener from its supplier. The supplier will deliver no more than 300 pounds in a shipment. Each container of detergent weighs 7.35 pounds, and each container of fabric softener weighs 6.2 pounds. The service wants to buy at least twice as many containers of detergent as containers of fabric softener.
Oh,
Let D represent the number of containers of detergent, and let S represent the number of containers of fabric softener, where D and S are non-negative integers. Which of the following systems of inequalities best represents this system? Seth, do you want to give it a shot?
okay. So we just translated into inequalities.
That's what it looks like.
So, well, we have to read it and be careful about it and just
Yes.
write it down with precision. So, first thing, at least they want to buy at least twice as many something
Well, that's the
as
harder one.
containers of fabric softener.
That's the harder one.
So, what you want twice as many, you want twice as many containers of detergent. So D is the number of containers of detergent. You want D to be at least that much, which means you want D to be bigger than or equal to twice the number of containers as twice the number of containers. They want twice as many, by at least twice as many containers.
You're doing the harder one first.
Sure, as containers of fabric softener. So twice as many containers of detergent has to be greater than the number of containers of fabric softener, right?
Wait. So you know how I like to do it? First of all, this is confusing.
Well, am I right or not?
Wait, what's the equation?
It's an inequality.
Okay, but you know what I mean. I know you said.
I know what I mean.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean is what you meant. What you mean may be something, but you said was false.
Okay, fine. It's a technical. As far as I'm concerned, it's a
So let's see.
technicality.
Twice he wants to buy.
Wait. The way, first
so
of all, this is tough. So what I like to do is I like to go old school. Make up some numbers. If you have 10 pounds, if you have 10, oh, I can't. Come on.
No, containers. We're doing containers.
Yeah. If I have 10 containers of fabric softener, without writing any equation, how many containers of detergent do I have to have if it's an equality? If I have 10
20.
containers of fabric softener, how many containers of detergent do I need? And assume it's a 2 times, not a greater than 2 times. If it is 2, twice as many. But don't look at the equation. Just 10 containers of fabric softener. I have twice as many containers of detergent. How many containers of detergent do I need?
20.
20. So 20.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to write before.
So 20 has to be. So D has to be greater than or equal to 2S.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
What is it?
All right, so that's wrong.
Yes, even the PhD in math was Seth has. It's really confusing. Oh, make up numbers because it's English stuff.
Okay, good enough.
It's too theoretical. Make up numbers.
All right.
Make up numbers.
And then the other situation is you want less than or equal to 300 pounds. This one, I would just look at the numbers. Want something to be less than or equal to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And what's less than or equal to 300 pounds is the weight of the detergents plus the weight of the fabric softener. So if they do is they all have these factors some unit weight times D and S. So we just have to check each detergent container contains 7.5 pounds. So 7.5
Well,
D's.
7.35. Gotcha, Seth. It's not exact.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 7.35
doesn't matter.
plus 6.2 times the number of softeners. So it's so for the first condition, it's one of these, and the second condition gives you this one, and so the answer is A.
Yeah. So you can see you got to be very careful with that
Yeah,
second equation.
yeah,
I personally would do the first equation first because it's easier. Just get it out of the way, build some confidence.
Yeah. I would do the second condition first
Really?
because I really go for it,
Do the harder one? Yeah, I do always do the easier one first. This is interesting. They doubled it, thinking that on the bottom here, the 14.7, they doubled it, which isn't. One can realize, one can certainly look at that and say, yeah, okay, I could see at least why they wrote that. Because you're doubling the detergent.
Yeah, yeah. But they made it very clear that D is the number of containers of detergent.
Right.
Right. So it's not.
Yes, that's right.
Not the minimum of and S is the number of containers of softener. It's not the minimum. That's not the lower bound for what D is.
When I first read the question, I didn't read it. I read it out loud, but I didn't really comprehend that this is inequality. I read it as just twice as many. But when I processed it in my brain as twice as many, not at least twice as many. But when looking at the answers, it would have been obvious that there's an inequality going on. Yeah, you got to be really careful with this.
Both of the responses, all the responses are inequalities.
I know. That's why why didn't they do something here and change these up a little bit to put the 2 in here?
Or put a half in there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do something funny with that. Yeah. So, okay, so let's see. Let's ask the questions. Calculator. No, calculator absolutely doesn't help here. We have to write equations. Starting with the answers. Well, we're definitely going to want to look at the answers for a clue as to what to write. Notice that they all have a less than 300. Units help when you do this problem to keep track, as we talked about before. How does this differ from a school test? School tests, teachers don't usually ask questions like this, but if they wanted to help their students prepare for these standardized tests, they would. But you don't normally have maybe the teacher would just ask to write the equations, not a multiple choice test, depending on the teacher. Is there a pattern to this question? No, absolutely not. There's nothing about these numbers that makes writing the equation easier or harder. There is a translating English into math thing. All right, so now we get to the main idea. Learning how to translate or developing the skill of translating English into math is definitely what they are. One of the super main ideas here. That's essentially translating English into math and writing some sort of linear inequalities. So that's about it, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's see how they do it. Clear all drawings. And then let's see. Clear all drawings, kill this, and let us see how they do this thing. Oh, it was A. Okay. So now we're going to have to move ourselves around because of the can't read the answer if we don't move ourselves around. Okay, choice A is correct. The number of containers in a shipment must have a weight less than or equal to 300. See, they did the easier one first, Seth. See?
Yeah.
So they could just read it. They did the easier one first. Okay. Now, it also starts with also in the middle of the paragraph. Also, the laundry service wants to buy at least twice as many containers of detergent as fabric softener. The number of containers of detergent should be greater than or equal to 2 times the number of containers of fabric softener. Easier said than figured out. As you see, Seth got a little confused there when he was doing it. This can be expressed by the inequality that. I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's not, because it's very confusing when one thing is twice the other. Is it x equals 2y, or is it y equals 2x? Again, I personally put numbers to them and figure it out without the equation, and that gives you the guide.
Well, you could use a number like 1.
A number like 1 for what?
One container of detergent. Twice as many containers. Twice.
Detergents have to be more. There are more containers.
What if you have one container of fabric softener?
Right.
And you want twice.
Twice as many containers of detergent. Do people speak like that? Is this an obtuse way of talking?
Well, twice as much detergent.
As fabric.
Twice as many containers. Twice as we want more detergent.
Yes, you want more detergent.
Right. You want more detergent.
More detergent. So detergents have to be bigger than fabric softeners.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem, it seems to be an unnatural way to think.
Yes, it is.
Because every customer is going to use detergents.
Yep.
Right? And the business person knows how many customers come in.
Right.
He or she doesn't start with how many how many uses of fabric softener.
Right.
Unless it's the Softy laundromat. This is a special laundromat where this is a laundromat to go to soften your stuff.
Right. That's just
no. They would estimate the number of customers.
Yeah.
And each customer uses an average amount of each customer uses a certain amount of detergents, and then they would estimate the average number of containers of detergents, and then they would guess, of the people who use detergent, how many of all the customers who all use detergent, how many use fabric softener? Well, maybe about half. Right?
Yeah. That's would be the natural way.
Yeah.
But even outside the natural way of running a laundromat, do people talk about I use twice as many of this as this? You usually don't talk like that.
I don't know. Some might.
I use twice as many in my recipe. I use twice as many apples as blueberries.
Yeah.
Would you really say that? Would you say
Well, you want to have a lot of apples. Blueberries are expensive. You want to have a very appley apple dish. So I use twice as many apples.
I use twice as many apples as blueberries.
But so you say twice as many. That means the number of apples is twice.
Right. The number of apples is bigger. Or I use 2 times. I use 2 times more apples.
Right.
Than blueberries.
Yeah. Twice as many, which means many more. How many more? Well, double the number of what you're comparing it to.
Twice as many apples.
So what you're comparing it to is the other thing. The other thing is you have to double.
So apples is too big.
To compare to the number of apples.
Yeah, so it's really confusing because you're saying twice as many apples as blueberries. So you figure the 2 is associated with the apple, but it's not. The 2 is actually associated with the blueberry. Right?
Yeah.
The two goes with the B, not with the A, even though you say it's twice as many apples. So it's really, yeah,
That's how the English works.
contender.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is yeah,
So
nasty stuff.
yeah. So
Nasty stuff.
that's why we have practice questions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you get
Yeah.
snagged on them, and then you're
Yeah.
off. That's why I like to get away from the English, and I put numbers in to try to separate to confusing English to what's the reality of what's going on. Yeah.
Well,
That's
English could be about numbers too.
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we
Okay.
killed this. So in August, SAT is coming up this weekend. So good luck, everyone. We've found through I've been searching all different websites and resources. We do not get paid by this group. We have no relationship other than I've noticed that this group called Prep Pros, they seem to have a handle on good questions, good practice questions. It's hard to find really good practice questions for the SAT other than the Blue Book questions. So you should do every single Blue Book test. We heard rumors that Blue Book 4 and Blue Book 6 best model, at least on the math side, the math SAT. These Prep Pro people, this group does a great job with the harder questions, so check them out. And just practice. And Khan Academy offers like low-level practice, just those super basic stuff, which you should really get good at because you want to do those very quickly and efficiently. So, and while we can't predict what is on the SAT, we know what the concepts are. Talking about the concepts, that's why we're here. I'm Joel. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. My brother Seth is a PhD in math. That didn't help him with that translating English into math. But we are here to offer different approaches on how to do the problems. We're very much into what is behind the question, what is the concept behind the question. I said before, while we don't know exactly the questions of the SAT, we know the concepts. We know the concepts that will be on the SAT. Oh, I think that's it for today, right, Seth? And tomorrow,
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully, we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll do a Throwback Thursday, where we take a quick look at a problem that, we'll look at a modern problem, but also a problem dates back like 23 years, about 23 years, so you can see what the test looked like back then. Okay, everyone, so have a great day, and if you're studying for the August SAT, keep studying, keep doing those practice questions to figure out what you did wrong to get better and better with every question. I feel like we forgot something. Oh, yes, please like and dislike our videos. Please comment on our videos. We take all the comments extremely seriously, and we try to respond to each one. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.